How wonderful would be to arrive at the beginning of the week at work and know exactly how many calls and how many leads you will have the same week. This is not psychoscience. You can achieve it if you have the right system. Today, I'm going to share with you the outbound system workflow that I used to get every week's new leads and call for my business. But let's start with the foundation, with the purpose. Why we do this? Basically, we want to provide value to the market, and we wanna find the right people that may need our service or product, and we wanna to let them know about us and maybe start a conversation with them and then to develop in a business relationship. So basically what we will do is find the right person to contact, to understand about this person, to know this person, how they approach the business, which is the business about, and something about them. And at the end is to try to connect with these people. So try to send the right message that can resonate with them. So the workflow starts from the beginning, from a list of contacts. This list of contacts come from a database. Usually it's an online database. For example, one example can be apollo.ao. And in this kind of database, you can download very easily thousands of contacts in one time or divided as much as you want with the filter you want. So this is our starting point, and from here we start with our workflow. Our flow take advantage of AI, of course. So when you see the passage, most of them has AI. Let's start. We have the list of the companies and of the people, the list of the people, and each people has their company name. So the first step is to research about the company, and this is made by AI. Very easy. We just understand who is the ideal customer profile for this company, which product or service they are selling, and which transformation they are bringing to their customer profile. At this point, we go to the matching. We try to match the company with our proposal, with our info. In this folder, there are all the information related to our business, about our rules, our product, service, ideal customer profiles, branding, whatever we need to understand if a company is a match or not. And in this case, there will be someone will pass and someone will be just deleted. At this point, for the one past this step, there is the research in terms of profile. And in this case, is the profile, LinkedIn profile. The user will be scanned in LinkedIn by AI and to understand how they approach the business, what they post, which are their pain points, and possible idea to how to start a conversation with these people. And this step is very important. So there is not just one AI, but there is a second AI that double check the information and give us the higher probability that this information is reliable and verified. For the information we are sure they are good with the double check control, we will pass to the messaging. In this case, we can develop a full messaging sequence, perfectly tailored with our profile and with all our rules, with all our guidelines, branding, everything in line with that. At the end, what we will have, we just have a step to verify the contacts, so we can just be sure that all the messages are carefully delivered to the inbox of the people we are targeting. At this point, the workflow finish, and all the email are all the database that we have collected with the messages, with all the indication, are just sent to another tool which allow us to send this email to the right profiles. So basically, this is the workflow. Okay, we start from a list of contact and we finish with the right person to contact with the right messages. And from there, we will start to have some reply. And with the reply, we can start this conversation and try to develop them to business relationship. Of course, this is an iterative process. No, we have to do very good how to match the companies, how to message these people, and of course, how to follow up and to develop the conversation. This is the main work. But all of this work of verification, defining of the messages, and research of a profile, this is all made by this very, very nice workflow. So, of course, everything then, when will be at steady state, will be working at full power. We can just, if we want a more call at the end, we just have to increase the number of contacts we put in the input. For example, if I put 100 contacts, maybe I can get 5 or 10 calls. But if I put 2,000 contacts at the input of this workflow, I will get the double, so 10, 20 calls. So this is why this can be a really scalable way to find new leads and to program new call for your business. And what I want to do now is just I want to jump on the desktop and show you in practice how this workflow is working. So see you there. Okay, guys, here we are, and let's see how it works. So we are here in apollo.ai, and here, as you can see, I already set all the filter. I already select only five company. Okay, just to be very short, of course, and I make the export and export verify email, save, and I download the file, which is exactly here. This Apollo contacts export 13 is automatically called like that. At this point, I just take this list of contact, okay, which are basically 5 contacts, okay, with the email, with the LinkedIn link, and the company link. So we take this list and we put inside our workflow. Basically is Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, or just drag and drop in source. Okay, and at this point I just have to make a very short setup here. So there is just one line of code just to let the system know that we are starting a new workflow and to set up everything. So just say that we are working on the number 13 and we just say okay. So in this case, we are just matching also the fact that if I already have done some campaign before, I don't want to reuse the same email because I don't want to send the same message to or more message to the same people I already sent. Okay. Once I did this, very easy, I can just launch the full workflow that I launch in one time, just with a simple command. And now we are going to see what is happening. So basically, there are 9 steps in this case. Basically, it's the step I just showed in the whiteboard. If there is some step more, it's just cleaning of the data or just some write them in the register for not sending 2 times to the same people, as I was explaining before. But basically, okay, for example, we have a cleanup of the data, just check the data are complete and they are okay. And then what happened? There is the company enrichment. So I go for each company in their website with AI, and for each company, the AI will go to take the ideal customer profile, the product and services, and the transformation this company is bringing to their customer. Okay, so in this way, I have a pretty complete picture of what these companies are doing. Very well. So here 5 succeed. So the website exists, there are information, and we got all the information. At this point, there is the matching. So here I have a folder where I store all the information about my company. So for example, my ideal customer profile, my offer, something about my company, maybe company value, maybe some way branding. I can add as much as information is needed when I have to contact new prospects. So with this information, the AI will take one by one this company and will say if they are a fit or not with my offer and with my ideal customer profile. So there is a fit or not. Is it worth to contact this company or not? And if it is no, like in this case, there is the AI explain why. No, so I can check why there is no, and maybe I can improve the research upfront, maybe already in Apollo, adding more filtering. So for example, so here no, this company disqualify because it's marketing and advertising company. Okay, because in my note I just say I don't want to send my offer, send my request of connection or my email, exploring email to companies that are in the marketing field because they may be my competitors. Okay, and there are yes in this case and yes in this case. So in this case we have 2 yes, 3 no. So in this case already we can say, or maybe I can improve at the beginning. No? Okay, then what we have? Step number 4, we go in this in the LinkedIn profile of this profile where the company have been a match, and I go to take some information. This is made by AI, and in particular, they get different information about what they post, about what they talk, how they approach the business, and there are also some ideas about how to engage with this kind of person. No? And together with this information, there is also the source. So it's just recording also where did I found this information on the LinkedIn profile. So in this case, I have information and then source, and this is useful for the double check because the next step is having the another AI which allow to check if the information are reliable. For example, here on 6 field of information recorded, 6 are double check, 0 no, and in the second case, 5 are double check and 1 no. So in this case, for the messages, I will only use the double check information, and I will discard the profiles that have less than 3 on 6 double checking information. At this point, we are at the point of the messages. We take these two with these 2 profiles, and the AI write the message sequences. So also in this case, I have written the rules here on the folder, on my folder, how I would like to structure my message. Of course, the AI has some freedom because he has to mix my guidelines, my values, my way of communicating with the characteristic of the company, the characteristic of that person, and how obtain 3 messages, so a sequence of 3 messages with the 3 subjects, completely dedicated for this person to approach this person. At this point, there is just okay, a filtering. There is a control verification for the email that will be delivered, so we can see the score. Also in this case, I will discard if the score is less than 90. So there are 2 and they are okay. And at this point, we just have the export of the CSV. And the CSV is this that I can open. And in this case, the result is having a list of the 2 contacts we have out with all the messages. So what I will do will be just take this file, CSV, and just load to the next tool, which is, for example, Smart Lead, where I can just load the contacts, and this will automatically start the process of sending the email to all these contacts. If you like this kind of video, subscribe, and if you want more information, just write to me and I will be happy to answer in the comment or in DM as you want. See you to the next video.